Hello, friends, fiends, and fellow UBTubers, and welcome to episode 781 of the Daily Comic and Collectible. Today, the collectible of the day is the Hasbro Toys, Marvel Comics, Marvel Legends series, Retro Collection, Silver Samurai action figure. The Silver Samurai has but one goal in life: to become the leader of the Japanese underworld. Trained in the martial arts and wielding a massive katana, this honorless samurai may have already achieved his desire, if not for the interference of the X-Men. This 6-inch scale Marvel Legends series action figure of the mutant Silver Samurai is designed to look just like the character in Marvel Comics. This 1/12 scale figure has a chrome look finish and features intricate details, sculpted designs, and even hand-painted deco. This figure also features advanced articulation for ultimate posability and displayability in your Marvel collection. This Silver Samurai comes on a retro-style blister card package designed to look like the Toy Biz toy line of the 80s and early 90s, but with updated artwork and logo. Package contents include the mutant figure of the Silver Samurai and 2 samurai swords, one for each hand, which are the katana and the wakizashi. Imagine the silver armored warrior battling through the pages of Marvel X-Men comics, with the 6-inch scale Silver Samurai vintage figure, including 2 character-inspired accessories. This Silver Samurai action figure was released in 2018 for the Uncanny X-Men line by Hasbro Toys. Now, the comic of the day is Marvel Team Up, Volume 1, Issue number 83, with the cover date of July 1979, with story by Chris Claremont, art by Sal Buscema, and cover by Rich Buckler. This story is titled Slaughter on 10th Avenue. This story opens as dawn breaks. Spider-Man lies on the snow-covered roof of the West Side Manhattan tenement, where Nick Fury gunned him down just a few hours before. He was left for dead, but he is not, and soon he regains his consciousness. Having difficulty breathing, he removes his mask, and then recalls the events of the previous night. He remembers finding Nancy Rushman, who strongly resembles the Black Widow. The attack by the S.H.I.E.L.D. strike force, the subsequent battle, and how Fury shot her. He remembers feeling blood on her chest, and then attacking Fury. Since he's alive, he knows that Fury used an anesthetic bullet. Since Fury used the same gun on Nancy, Spider-Man decides she must be alive as well, and he web swings away, hoping to track her down. Meanwhile, inside the skyscraper that houses S.H.I.E.L.D.'s New York headquarters, Fury is discussing the night's events with Jasper Sitwell. They look in on the Black Widow, who's under sedation, being treated by a S.H.I.E.L.D. medic, Dr. Ames. It's difficult for Fury to figure out what's going on, as he orders Ames to get the Widow ready for interrogation by sunset. Fury tells Sitwell that the Widow contacted him a while ago in a panic to warn him of a terrible disaster, but then she disappeared. They finally found her, but Val de Fontaine disobeyed his orders and tried to kill her instead of simply capture her. Too many things have been going wrong with S.H.I.E.L.D. lately, continues Fury, and if he doesn't find out what's going on soon, they may not remain alive long enough to regret it. Soon, Peter Parker arrives at the Daily Bugle building and heads for the library, they also called the morgue, where he asks the librarian, Maggie McCulloch, for information. The gruff old lady hands him a telephone directory and tells him where to look up S.H.I.E.L.D's address. After making some telephone calls, Peter heads for the skyscraper. When he enters, he swiftly runs by the security guards and takes an express elevator to the 50th floor. The startled guards sound the alarm as Spider-Man, temporarily safe in the moving car, quickly changes into his costume and climbs out onto the car's roof. When the elevator door opens, the guards are waiting for him, but he's nowhere in sight. Meanwhile, as Ames files his report on the Black Widow's condition, the view screen of the video phone on his desk starts to glow. Then, a voice tells him that the Black Widow is an enemy whom he must destroy. His eyes begin to glaze. The hypnotized physician then tries to stab her with a scalpel. However, she regains consciousness in time and slams him into a wall. She doesn't know where she is, but she quickly finds her costume, puts it on, and heads down a hallway. She's confused, still unable to reconcile her imagined life as a teacher with the possession of a trained killer's reflexes. Suddenly, a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent attacks her, but even before she can react, Spider-Man knocks him out with a punch to the jaw. Then he quickly explains that they're in the basement of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Manhattan skyscraper. But when alarms start sounding, the Black Widow starts to panic. As more S.H.I.E.L.D. agents run in, Spider-Man knocks the Black Widow out and carries her up a ventilation duct all the way to the skyscraper's roof. He now knows that someone has somehow removed her memories, so he must try to help her regain them again. Meanwhile, 80 miles west of Manhattan, the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier soars 2 miles above the Earth. At the bridge of the airship, Clay Quartermain receives a report from New York about the Black Widow's escape. Quartermain is hypnotized, and the person who controls him stands in the shadows behind him, with their 2 henchmen. Realizing that Ames has failed, she orders the Silver Samurai to use his ring to teleport Boomerang to Manhattan. Boomerang's mission will be to seek out and destroy both the Widow and Spider-Man. The samurai asks to do the mission by himself because he has unfinished business with Spider-Man. But the woman says she needs the samurai by her side. Defiant, but nevertheless obedient, the samurai vanishes with Boomerang. Then, the woman turns on a television, where she learns from the CBS Morning News that the president is scheduled to address Congress later that evening. When his speech is finished, she muses, the world will never be the same. Meanwhile, in Lower Manhattan, on Pier 30, just east of Chinatown, Nick Fury speaks with Dennis Nayland Smith from a telephone booth. He suspects that an enemy has somehow taken over S.H.I.E.L.D., and he needs Smith's agent, Shang-Chi, to help him. As he enters his sports car, he recalls that Nancy Rushman was the Black Widow's cover identity when she first came to the United States as a Soviet spy. Could her defection be a fake? Is she still working for the Russians? If not, he wonders, then for whom? The tracer that he planted on her is still broadcasting, so he turns on his tracking device and drives away. But unbeknownst to him, his car is also bugged as well, and Boomerang flies after it, unseen. Sometime later, Nancy awakens in Peter Parker's apartment, and he offers her a bowl of Aunt May's chicken soup. He explains that Spider-Man brought her there, and she says groggily that she remembers being in a hospital where a doctor tried to kill her. Peter reassures her and asks her her name, but she is too confused to reply. Then, The memory of being tortured assails her, and she starts to scream in fear. Peter calms her down, wondering what could have possibly been done to her, when suddenly the door smashes open, and Nick Fury covers them both with his pistol. They're under arrest for espionage and treason, he declares, and he orders them out of the building and into his car. Suddenly, Peter's spider sense tingles, and he shouts a warning as he knocks Fury and Nancy over. Then, the car suddenly explodes. Fury sees Boomerang flying through the smoke and starts shooting, knocking the criminals' boomerangs out of the air. Despite being handcuffed, Peter slips away in the confusion, breaks the cuffs, and dressed as Spider-Man, tackles Boomerang from behind. Spider-Man and Boomerang fly into a nearby roof, and Fury rushes to help, telling the Widow to stay under cover, but when she sees the battle, she instinctively decides to join in. When Spider-Man is hurled off the roof, she quickly places herself beneath him and breaks his fall. Stunned, Spider-Man gasps that Boomerang's boot jets caught him on the head, and he thanks her for saving his life. The Widow asks him to get the handcuffs off her so they can both aid Fury, who's battling Boomerang by himself. They quickly head for the roof, where Spider-Man dives into the criminal. But just as he's about to knock him unconscious, the Silver Samurai materializes in a flash of light behind Boomerang. Spider-Man recognizes him from previous battles and sees the teleport ring that John Belushi once had. Spider-Man warns Fury and the Widow about the Samurai's energy sword, which cuts through steel like butter. That's when Boomerang tells the samurai that their opponents are helpless and urges him to finish them off. But the samurai declines, saying they are merely off balance, and there's too much at stake to risk defeat. He continues as he activates the teleport ring. Then the samurai and Boomerang vanish in a burst of light. The Widow says that bits and pieces of her memory are starting to return, so she may be able to tell them where the samurai and Boomerang have gone. She's still not certain who she is, Nancy Rushman or the Black Widow, but she does know that unless they act quickly, the world may soon be destroyed. This story is continued in Marvel Team Up, issue number 84, Geek Fact. This issue features the first appearance of Virgil Ames, a S.H.I.E.L.D. physician who was hypnotized by Viper to kill Black Widow. It's also the first appearance of the Daily Bugle's ill-tempered chief librarian, Maggie McCulloch. Bonus Geek Fact. Spider-Man recalls how the Silver Samurai recently obtained a teleportation ring. That happened in Marvel Team Up, Volume 1, issue number 74, from October of 1978. He states that Silver Samurai took it from the famous actor John Belushi. However, this cannot be confirmed as John Belushi died in 1982. Marvel Hostess Heroes.
The Thing and the
Ultimate Weapon.
The automatic hydraulo press has the power to push through a planet. It will certainly keep the strange-looking human in his place. Look! His hands dig into the metal as if it were paper. No overgrown toy is gonna keep this blue-eyed pretty boy tied down against his will. It is time for the ultimate weapon, Torgo! Sheesh! Just what I need. Another challenge. You know, bud, this can get very boring. Fight. What you need is a new interest. Like this. Hostess fruit pies. Apple, cherry, even peach.
These are good. Very good.
Knew you'd like the light, tender crust and the real fruit filling. Everybody does.
You are right. This is better than fighting.
There is more to this strange human creature than brawn. I would only wish that we too could enjoy some hostess fruit pies.
You get a big delight in every bite of Hostess fruit pies. Yummy.
Alright, stop. Collaborate and listen. Cat Band's back with his brand new rendition, Geek Facts. Grabs a hold of him tightly, flows through his brainwaves daily or nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and he'll glow. To the extreme, he rocks Mike like a vandal. Light up any comic facts he can handle. Comics go rush in the comics like doom. Fake facts are killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom. Cat Band, he plays dope medleys. Anything less than the best is a felony. Love it or leave it, you better gain weight. Watch out for Bullseye, that kid don't play. If there was a problem, yo, he'll solve it. Check out the hook while his DJ revolves it. It's all about geek facts, baby. It's the final geek fact, baby. Too cold. It's the final geek fact, baby. It's the final geek fact, baby. Too cold. Let's get out of here. Word to your mother.
The origins and abilities of the Silver Samurai were gradually built across years in cumulative storylines. In his first appearance in Daredevil, issue number 111, from July of 1974, by Steve Gerber, little of his origins were explored. As a swordsman, the Silver Samurai, or his sword, exhibited no special abilities, despite his excellent fighting skills. The next advance in his characterizations were developed by creator Chris Claremont. His energy sword was introduced in Marvel Team Up, issue number 57, that I had just covered on Monday, from May of 1977, with the capacity of creating electrically disrupting effects. However, it was implied that the sword's properties were derived from the weapon itself, either by technology or mystic ways. In Marvel Team Up, issue number 83, from July of 1979, the sword's properties were more clearly defined as an energy sword, easily capable of cutting through any material, including steel. Then, in Spider-Woman, issue number 43, from April of 1982, it was revealed that only the Silver Samurai could activate the energy effect that characterized his sword. His full real name was only revealed in New Mutants, issue number 5, from July of 1983, and his connection to Clan Yashida was discovered in New Mutants, issue number 6. And finally, his condition as a mutant was only fully explicit in Wolverine, Volume 2, issue number 2, from December of 1988. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again Friday. This is Cat Fan Comics Man, and I'll catch you on the flip, baby. Over and out.